outs, and they are heavily linked with the move for Emi Martinez from Aston Villa. And is Anthony about to get his wish and leave Old Trafford? Let's cross live to our reporter Daniel Khan, who can bring us right up to date. Daniel, we had the breaking news about Anthony, but what can you tell us about the story?
Yeah, absolutely, Julia. Thank you very much. I mean, 3 years to the day, Anthony signed for Manchester United for £86 million from Ajax. It seems he is now on his way out of Manchester United on a permanent basis. An agreement has been reached with Real Betis over the permanent sale of Anthony, a deal worth just over £21 million. And Manchester United, as I understand it, also have a 50% net sell on any future sales of Anthony if he is ever to leave Real Betis one day. And we told you last week that there was a broad agreement around a fee between Manchester United and Betis, but at that moment it didn't go any further because there were complications around his wage and overcompensation as well, whether United would contribute to any of that. But as I understand it, again, United aren't compensating Anthony in any way for this move to Real Betis. There's been a slight restructure to that agreement with Betis, and that is now in agreement between the two clubs. So Anthony looks like he is on his way out, expecting him to travel to Spain for a medical, and as well as incomings, if there are any today, Julie. I think United's focus is a lot on outgoings, and Anthony could just be the latest along the lines of the likes of Jadon Sancho, Tyrell Malacia. Still waiting official confirmation on Rasmus Højlund as well, on his move to Napoli as well.
Yeah, and if there is to be an incoming today, it would be a big one. United search for a new goalkeeper. Are they actually going to make a move for Aston Villa's Emi Martinez? And are you confident they can get the deal done?
Well, I think Manchester United have identified that it looks like they need to reinforce the goalkeeping area. I was at their game on Sunday against Fulham, Julia, and against Burnley, I should say. And Ruben Amorim said himself that to be a Manchester United goalkeeper right now is incredibly difficult. You look at Emi Martinez and also Sen Lamans, the goalkeeper of Royal Antwerp. I think Manchester United right now, as we believe, are just trying to decide internally which direction they're going to go and proceed in. Emi Martinez is someone they've explored through the summer, and clearly Emi Martinez himself knows of the interest because he was left out yesterday evening by Unai Emery on that game against Crystal Palace. Lamans, so the other option they could look down, is 23 years old in comparison, only had one senior year of playing professional football, being a number one in that sense. So very interesting, two very polarising different options. Emi Martinez, though, is tested and proven. He's won the World Cup. He's also been crowned goalkeeper of the year twice on occasion. So very interesting to see what Manchester United do. But I think they need to address that area because clearly it has made them suffer so far this season, Julia. And also you have to consider Andre Onana will be gone for a considerable amount of time with AFCON coming in December as well.
How many times have we been speaking about Jadon Sancho over the course of this summer, last summer, the summer before? It feels like he's a constant in the window. Could he have a new club in this country? We know that a number of sides in Serie A tried to sign him earlier in the summer. He got close to potentially going to Roma, but turned that deal down. He is now potentially going to be heading to Aston Villa, just 1 point from their 3 games so far for Unai Emery. But could they be about to get a new winger? What we know is that Aston Villa are currently in talks with Manchester United over a potential deal. The deal under discussion would be a loan. He has 1 year left on his Old Trafford contract, but the club do have an option to extend that for a further year. So potentially he could have 2 years on his deal. He's on big wages, surplus to requirements at Manchester United. And Aston Villa are currently talking to his personal representatives over the personal terms, which at this stage we don't know whether that will be a problem or not. But significantly, after their poor start to the season, Aston Villa could be about to get some much needed Premier League experience.
How could Aston Villa afford him? Because we've been hearing about them having real problems with PSR and probably can only do loan deals or very cheap buys at this stage. So how can they afford those huge wages?
Well, potentially, because there's no huge fee attached in purchasing the player, that's obviously a massive saving that they can do. We know that they were fined by UEFA last season because they failed to meet the requirements with regards to the financial fair play rules, which are UEFA's rules. Premier League's PSR, profit and sustainability. So Aston Villa have had to be really careful about the business they do. It's come to a lot of, it's been a real frustration for a lot of Aston Villa fans because they see this ambitious football club that wants to compete at the highest level, but the rules are stopping them from doing so. They probably didn't want to sell Jacob Ramsey to Newcastle because he's 24 years old, he's a great player, he's a young player, he's come through their system. But the rules are dictating they need to be creative financially. So this is where this type of a deal would suit Aston Villa. It's being discussed as a potential loan. There may be a loan fee attached. Manchester United may say to Aston Villa, we can pay a chunk of Jadon Sancho's wages. We want him off our wage bill. He's not going to get game time here. He wants to stay in the Premier League. So this could be a deal that suits all parties.
Guys, let me start this video with a big bomb arrived in the morning, an exclusive story I dropped for you, and now we can enter into the details because Manchester United are working on a deal to sign Emiliano Dibu Martinez as new goalkeeper. I told you yesterday, if you follow the channel, maybe you have some extra information, because I'm always giving you something more here on the channel on YouTube every single day, and I told you, remember the two goalkeepers always in the list of Man United are Senne Lammens and Dibu Martinez. Well, this morning, Manchester United start club-to-club negotiations with Aston Villa for Dibu Martinez. Why? Because for Senne Lammens, they've gone big, new proposal, but still no agreement with Antwerp. Antwerp, for this young Belgian goalkeeper, want at least 25 million euros guaranteed fee. Man United started at 17, plus 2, plus 3, but still no agreement on the transfer fee. And so United, to keep themselves ready with 24 hours to go, you always need at least two options. If you want to cover a position with the final hours of the market, Man United go big for Emi Martinez. So let's see what's going to happen now. If they decide to proceed with the Dibu, in this moment this is my feeling, or if they wait for Senne Lammens. What I can tell you is that there is a crazy goalkeepers market ongoing because Emi Martinez wants to go to Man United. Emi Martinez has agreed personal terms with Man United. Emi Martinez has told Aston Villa about this, and so I would not be surprised if tonight in Aston Villa game Dibu Martinez will not be on the pitch, because maybe this could influence also the upcoming game. So Emi Martinez is a big topic in this moment for Manchester United. The player is desperate to go. He wants to have this opportunity. He believes that at this age is a big chance for him to go to Manchester United, even without European football. And so, Dibu pushing to join Manchester United. Agreement with the player done. In these conversations, remember this, Aston Villa and Man United also discussed about Jadon Sancho. Sancho is still at Manchester United, still not making any decision on his future. He needs to find a solution, and Aston Villa asked about the situation of Sancho. In January, it was February, they closed the deal on deadline day for Marcus Rashford, Aston Villa from Man United. Very good relationship between the two clubs, and now discussing about Sancho. So Sancho could be the new Rashford for Aston Villa. Let's see what happens there. But you know what's crazy in this story? If Dibu Martinez goes to Manchester United, Aston Villa can go for Senne Lammens, the goalkeeper wanted by Man United for the last 3-4 weeks. Villa have made contact in the last 24 hours for two goalkeepers.
As captain and star of the team, Bruno is virtually untouchable. But his style, those Hollywood passes, the risky attempts, the always offensive approach works perfectly when he plays as an attacking midfielder. The problem is that he is now playing further back in the midfield duo. And when Bruno loses the ball trying a risky pass from further back, United are completely exposed. Did you see Fulham's equalizing goal? That's exactly what happened. United defend on a 5-2-3, which puts many players on the defensive line, but leaves one or two opposing midfielders free at the edge of the area. And Bruno doesn't have the defensive insight necessary to detect these dangers. Why didn't Baleba resolve? Returning to Baleba for 100 mil, he would just be another strained midfielder alongside Bruno Fernandes. He would not solve the fundamental problem. What United really needs isn't another engine like Baleba. They need a controller, someone who can slow down the game when needed. Make the right passes while defending large spaces and marking the opposing flanks. Baleba is certainly better than United's current options, but for 100 million? With all the pressure and scrutiny that would entail, wouldn't be worth it. The smart alternative, Sander Berge. And then comes a much smarter alternative, Sander Berge of Fulham. The 6'5" Norwegian has been in United's care for years, and Amorim saw his quality up close last week when Fulham drew with United. Berge has been everywhere, recovering the ball, recycling possession, stealing plays. Vincent Kompany has already praised his game vision and his ability with the ball. And check out this statistic. Last season, only 3 players had a better passing percentage in the final third than Berge in the Premier League. Best of all, Fulham paid around $20 million for it, compared to Baleba's $100 million. So guys, sometimes not getting the player you want can be a blessing in disguise. United may have avoided a costly mistake and now have a chance to make a smarter, more targeted signing. When Amorim manages to stabilize the team and show that he can implement his style, United could go after that $100 million midfielder. What do you think? Did United do well not pay so much for Baleba? Comment down below.